Hello everyone, welcome to Homeosynapse. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is palliation in homeopathy, which is always worth discussing. So today it's just a short 5 minutes video, but within this time we are going to cover all the important topics or the important points which are worth to be discussed. First is, what is palliation? So this is the first question that comes to our mind. So basically palliation, it is the temporary relief of symptoms. Right. So in this condition, the disease pathology is still lurking behind. The disease pathology is not being cured. The disease is still there, but we are just giving a little temporary relief to the patient. Right. So how is it different from suppression, which is also a very important term and which I will be discussing in some other videos later on. So suppression is also a temporary amelioration to the patient, temporary relief to the patient, but at the cost of some new suffering. Right. So this is a basic difference between palliation and suppression. Now, as we know, palliation is not a very preferable method that we don't accept here in homeopathy, but there are certain conditions where palliation can be justified. Number one point is that in case of some irreversible pathology or where disease has progressed to some irreversible changes. Like say for example, a patient is having carcinoma and he has landed him in stage 4. So as we all are aware of the fact that stage 4 generally consists of the distant metastasis. So in this condition, we have to give temporary relief to the patient who is actually suffering a lot. So that is one condition in case of irreversible tissue changes or when the organ is damaged to a very much extent. In that we can go for palliation. Also in certain common diseases we often come across in OPDs or even in our clinic, like osteoarthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. So all those are the conditions where we can go for palliation and give little temporary relief to the patient, because you see those tissue changes, those osteophytic growths that cannot be reverted back to its original place, but yes, we can give relief to the patient by reducing his or her pain. The second point where we can go for palliation is when the patient is lacking any vital organ. Suppose a patient is born with one kidney only. That is a condition where we can go for palliation if needed, or where some surgical interventions have already been taken place, like removal of some organs, thyroidectomy, splenectomy, all these conditions where one vital organ is lacking, whether it's not there from birth or whether it's removed by surgical intervention, that is another point. But in this condition we should go for palliation, because it is expected that body cannot alone manage the condition. Now, there are certain conditions that is mentioned by Hahnemann also, where palliation is very much justifiable. Justificable. That is a footnote of 67 in Organon of Medicine, where little palliation or antipathic mode of treatment is being mentioned, like in case of sudden poisoning. This is a condition where vital force is having actually no time to act, where our medicine will not get the actual time to act. That is point number one in case of sudden poisoning. Number two is that when there is some urgent cases where there is imminent danger to life. Right. So that is a condition in case of drowning, some kind of electric shock, etc. When there is imminent danger to the life of the patient, and we cannot wait for the vital force to respond, and we have to make immediate intervention. That is another point where we can go for palliation. And the third and the last point is that in case of sudden accidents, right, in road traffic accident or any other accident, if the patient comes across those conditions, then without waiting for the vital force to respond, we should immediately employ antipathic mode of treatment, or we should go for palliation. So this is all for today, and many stalwarts have mentioned many things about palliation, which we will take up eventually, because it's a very important topic. Like H.A. Roberts, in H.A. Roberts, we have like a separate chapter for palliation. Even Kent has mentioned about palliation. Hannibal has mentioned about palliation in footnote of 67 that we have already discussed today. It's also mentioned by SP Day. So all these things, all the points, all the positive as well as all the negative aspects about palliation we will be discussing एकदम से this stalwart wise one by one. So let's pack up for today. So okay, bye.